Well, hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Stuart Stauffer, and I'm the Executive Director of Nebraska Transition College, and I'll be dealing with this glare on my glasses all night long. We are here tonight to help you celebrate Mr. Moeller at the College of Dentistry at UNL, and also to give our followers some perspective on NTC, those of you who are following us on our Give Back, Give Hope campaign that's taking place all through November. It's our annual fundraiser that we do at Nebraska Transition College. This is a small panel that will offer some different perspectives on some YNTC perspectives. And so what I'd like to do is introduce them before we get going on a few questions. Let's see, once I introduce them, they're going to give us either a hand clap or a party surprise or whatever. So let's go over here with Sherry Durbel. Sherry is a parent of one of our students, and she's going to give us a thumbs up. Welcome, Sherry. On my right is Nicole Benedict, whose son is taking one of our courses. Say hi, Nicole. You got there we go, it's thumbs up. And we've got JP. JP is one of our students. He's smiling, and he's going to give us a sign. And what will that be? Thumbs up or a sad face? A thumbs up. Heidi Larson. Heidi is going to offer us a perspective of a parent of one of our future students. And Heidi will give us a thumbs up. Rashid is one of our current students. He's taken several classes with us. Rashid will give us a thumbs up. And then Jake Dwinell on the bottom. He was one of our students, but also now one of our board members. So what is NTC? Nebraska Transition College exists because there's a gap. There's a gap between high school and the next step for individuals with disabilities. So if you graduate high school, you're looking for the job, you're looking for a 4-year or 2-year college or that next experience. And if you have a disability, bridging that gap can be very difficult if you don't have the necessary social skills, living skills, and work-ready skills. And Nebraska Transition College is coming into existence to fill that gap by offering programming. How we do that was we offer very specific programming for our students that is non-academic in scope, and it focuses on just teaching social skills, living skills, and work-ready skills so that our students can bridge that gap into that next step. So that's just a very short description. You can always go out to our website, nebraskatransitioncollege.org, to learn a whole lot more. There's a ton of information out there on the website. So I'm going to throw the first question out to our panelists. Tell me, and anyone can start, why do we need NTC? Who would like to start? And make sure you take your mute off. Jake, why don't you go ahead?
Well, speaking from experience as a person who was in that space where, you know, you get to a point where you're out of high school, you may or may not have a job, but you don't want to know what you want to do for your life and for your career yet. And college isn't necessarily an option. It was for me in a way. I went to SCC, but it wasn't right for me yet, or in this case at all. So when I joined Nebraska Transition College, I really found that not only am I not alone in this regard, you know, it's a big population that is, me as a young adult and others need somewhere to get that push or that guidance to move on and find what you want to do with your life, or what's next at the very least.
Yeah. Thanks, Jake. Anyone else like to chime in on that? Nicole.
I have some thoughts I would like to share. Just to kind of go with what you were saying about the gap. I think my husband and I long recognized that our son was falling into that gap well before he finished high school. And as we were looking at helping him to look at what the next step was, we recognized that what was out there was not either going to meet his needs, or I don't know if this is the best way to say it, was somewhat overqualified for it. It was something that was sophisticated enough for his abilities. Despite the diagnosis of the disability, this kid is quite abled. But the traditional path after high school was not something that was going to work for him. And we recognized that he was falling in that gap, and it was quite scary to feel like there wasn't the next step for him. And that is something that we feel like that demonstrates the need for NTC, because it is a stepping stone for him. And there's a whole segment of population that are just like our son Ethan, and he has goals and he sees a future for himself and he wants something enriching, but we know the traditional path is not right for him as he leaves high school. So having something like NTC for us means helping him to make that next step so he can have access to his own goals. Otherwise, he would not have a job. He would not have access to education. He would not have be able to participate in the social programs and other programs out there. And we thought, what will he do? Just sit in his room? He has too much going on for that. So it's really kind of relieved some of those fears and anxieties. We just felt like every stone we were overturning was just either too much or not enough.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. Anyone else like to chime in on that? Why do we need NTC? Jake, you want to keep going?
Yeah, I realized it wasn't super specific there. Maybe if you would like me to, I can go in a little more detail.
That's up to you. Tell
Yeah,
our folks who are
so
listening.
yeah, so to be more specific about why I was stuck, I got out of high school. I had an idea of I've always been, if not great at, always enjoyed doing woodworking and working with my hands. I for quite a while was trying to start a business, but where I made woodworking small things like candlesticks, and I made a couple of table legs and very small pieces of furniture. I was good at it, but it wasn't something I could do where I would still enjoy it and have it as a business and keep up with all the finances, which I'm not great at.
Yeah.
Or good at, for that matter. But since that didn't work, I had to get a part-time job, and I loved that job, don't get me wrong, but I started to grow out of it. Everybody working there was a teenager, and I was getting to that point where I was 21 by the time I left, and I started there when I was 19, because it was a little over 3 years I was there. And I joined NTC. They helped me find something that I could look for, because I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know what to call it or what to look for. And they helped me find that little piece I was missing. And I am now very happy. I'm very happy where I'm at. I work at a middle school as a paraeducator. So
yeah, that's awesome. Bridge that gap a little bit.
Yeah, it helped a lot.
Yeah. So let's talk about goals here just a second. Maybe I'll throw this out to JP and Rashid. What are the goals that you are hoping to accomplish or work on at NTC? What would you like to do? Let's start with JP.
Well, as someone on the autism spectrum, one of the things I found out that I struggle with a lot is striking up conversations with people that I don't know, like trying to make new friends. So I've been taking these social skills classes at NTC with the hope of expanding on and improving those social skills. And that's something I can say about NTC, is that they provide a welcoming environment that never made me feel excluded.
That's awesome. How about Rashid? What are some goals you're working on?
Well, one goal I'm working on currently is getting a job and also making some new friends, as well as learning how to manage my money and live healthily and eat healthy, be healthy.
Awesome. Thank you, Rashid. Let's move to one of our final questions because we were going to make this video kind of short. And so let's throw this out to, this is really going to be coming from anyone, but Heidi and Sherry, maybe you've got something to say on this too. If you were in an elevator and somebody asked you about NTC, what would you like to tell them? You know, anyone who is thinking of joining NTC or looking into it, what is it that you'd like to tell them?
I think that for our family, our experience is a lot like what Nicole talked about. None of us, whether we have some sort of an intellectual disability or not, none of us stop learning and growing after high school. And I think some of the mostly government supported programs that are out there to support individuals with disabilities through job coaching or community inclusion programs, and some of those programs, there's still a huge void between what those programs can offer and being able to just jump into community college or other traditional education situations that NTC is addressing, so that, like Jacob said, individuals with intellectual disabilities can continue to grow beyond those entry-level jobs and have some more meaningful and rewarding employment. They're capable of much more, I think, sometimes, and we all continue to grow and develop our job skills and our life skills throughout our lives. And there's a void for a lot of folks with intellectual disabilities that I have a lot of hope because you're providing that.
And Heidi, you, we talked not too long ago, and your son is now moved through the application process. Would you like to leave parents who are thinking about NTC with some final thoughts?
Sure. You know, we've been looking at this for a while. We actually are seeing one of the silver linings of COVID. We are out in Western Nebraska, so this was not a doable program for us because it wasn't here. But with COVID and being on the virtual programs, I think it's really opened it up to those of us that don't live in the Omaha and Lincoln area but still need those programs because they're even more limited out here than they are in the eastern side of the state. And our story is a little different than what I'm hearing from Sherry and Nicole. Our son actually has graduated with his associate's degree, but we realized it doesn't have the skills to live on his own. So we now have a degree and we're back living at home and can't get a job with the degree that we have. And so we're hoping that those social skills and some of that will help so that he can utilize his degree and become an employed adult.
Yeah, potential, right? It's
yes,
unused
definite.
potential that we're tapping into and the hope that it provides. By the way, and for all of those listening, you are the ones who help provide that programming. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. And that's what Give Back, Give Hope is all about in November. All of your support is going to be going to help us continue to build out our programming and offer these classes as we go. So thank you everyone for joining us on this very short video. Sherry, Nicole, Rashid, Heidi, JP, and Jacob, thank you so much. We'll be posting this to our website, so invite all your friends to go out there and take a look at it. And thank you to all of our supporters who are helping us with Give Back, Give Hope all throughout November. All right, you guys, go enjoy the rest of your evening.